Well, guys, it's official. 74% of women gamers are fat. I don't know if you actually knew that, but apparently Dove does, and they were nice enough to give us that information. We have the latest woke ad that has come out from a company, and man, these companies are pulling out strong. And it's crazy because not a lot of them have to do with LGBTQ stuff. Some of them do, but most of them don't. But the funny thing is that we're getting the benefits of what usually happens in Pride Month only, but earlier, which is great for content. And it's great for us to showcase yet again how these companies just love losing money. They are allergic to the American USD dollar. So let's get into this article, guys. This one comes to us from Bounding Into Comics, and it says Dove's new real virtual beauty ad campaign calls on gamers to challenge the narrow definition. I'm sorry. That is a great choice of words. To challenge the narrow definitions of beauty still visible in the virtual world. Yes, this is a real still. This is a real picture from the real ad that exists. We're going to play this ad first because, again, one of the tall tale signs of something being god-awful is, number one, dislike ratio, massive, okay? Obviously, 162 fat chicks like this video. That's great for them. Hopefully, they live long enough to play some more video games. But the rest of it, 2.9 thousand dislikes is very evident. This is 23,000 views, so people hate this crap. Not only that, that's the first tall tale sign. What's the second tall tale sign? What do you guys think is the second sign to know that something is garbage? Here we go. Ready? Boom. Comments are turned off, as expected. This always is the same story every single time some woke garbage comes out. But before we get into this video, guys, all I'm going to ask you to do is just consider giving this video a like to push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing because we're trying to hit 18,000 subscribers before the end of the month. Now, let's hit play, and let's see just how bad this is. I'm going to let the entire thing play out, and then we'll talk about it. So yes, that absolutely god-awful, terrible ad in every sense of the word is a real ad. This is what they're trying to push on not only just women, but men too. This has something to do with men, but it also has to do with women. So apparently, in the beginning of the trailer, they obviously show the skinnier, more athletic person taking down the enemy boss, right? Or whatever you want to call it. One shots him. I find it interesting how they're trying to make it seem as if all of this is real, which the whole point of video games is that it's not real, right? And one of the ways they showcase this is they try to show both the character being the real person and the monster being a real, like, actor or something along those lines, which is also very strange. They try to make it seem like it has real-world implications or they're real people behind the characters, and obviously that's not the case. Then you have posters of the skinnier person. Obviously, she comes out, she takes off her armor, and before you know it, you realize that she's actually extremely obese, and she was just basically somehow hiding all of it in that armor, which, again, I don't think that's even possible, but this is the story they want to tell. They made this entire Pixar animated style thing for just to tell women that it's okay to be fat, essentially. So this woman ends up getting sad about the fact that she has to play pretend to be a skinny person to be in video games, apparently, and then all of a sudden wants to turn around and say that, oh, well, I'm just going to stick stick to looking like a fat Lara Croft, because it's essentially what it is. This whole outfit is Lara Croft, just obese. I don't understand why they're doing it. Maybe they're trying to tear down Lara Croft. Who knows? But, of course, they showcase her saying, screw it, I'm going to go and beat myself. She grabs her weapon, and she goes and plays the video game as her fat self and not the more true, healthier, keyword, healthier, athletic self. So, again, they're pushing this on women because they tried to say, and here's the big thing, 74% of girls feel underrepresented in video games. What does that mean? What does that mean? Video games are not real. Video games are not real. So what does that mean, underrepresented in video games? Most men are not represented in video games. What do you think? Most people look like fucking Brawly in Dragon Ball Super? Like, come on. What are we even really talking about here? And the funny thing is, too, before we get into this article from Bounding Into Comics, whenever they send out surveys like this to people, they always send them out with a generic question, and you can't give a yes or no answer. It's always on a scale from 1 to 10. And then what ends up happening is that if you are 5 or below, you automatically get put in the underrepresented category. So they try to fish for as many people as humanly possible to put into that category to up the number. Most of those people who are in that 5 or below probably actually do feel represented by most games, but because they scored 5 or less, they decided to put them in the underrepresented category, which is why it's 74%. Not only that, women are the minority in the video game space. This is just the truth. It's not to say that women don't play games. It's to say that men are predominantly the ones who take part in this activity. Hence why there is so many e-girls on Twitch trying to get the attention of most simps trying to give them money in a male-dominated space. But let's get into this article from Bounding Into Comics. It's pretty funny. So it says, the latest brand to hop on the body-positive movement, the Dove brand, has launched a new ad campaign calling on video game fans to reject the narrow definitions of beauty found in modern titles. The Unilever-owned line of hygiene products first took a stand against overly sexualized women in video games on May 11th with the unveiling of a new commercial in which they called on players to eliminate stereotypes and build young players' self-esteem and body confidence. Shared to the public via the official Twitter account for advertising and marketing-centric news outlet The Drum, and developed in collaboration between Dove, Epic Games' Unreal Engine education team, and the Women in Games activism organization, the ad in question opens up with an establishing shot of a battleground littered with dragon bones. This is a problem. Women in Games activism organization. Why do you have an activism organization in gaming? Why do you even need an activism? Or this is not politics. You don't need to be activists in video games. Just shut the fuck up, sit down, and play the games that you like. If you need to see yourself in a video game in order to be able to enjoy it and play it, that is inherently against gaming. Gaming as a whole is supposed to be an escape from reality. It is not supposed to be a mimic of reality. Obviously, there are games based in reality, but the story is still fictional. It is not based on your own persona. If you're constantly having to look for yourself in order to enjoy a video game, you will always be miserable, and perhaps gaming is not for you. Perhaps you should probably go watch Disney Plus or something. They're doing a lot of that shit over there, but it's not going to happen in gaming. So what, are we all not supposed to play games like Crash Bandicoot because he's just impossible to fucking see ourselves in? It's like, you guys make no sense. That is completely against what gaming goes for, and that goes to show me that this entire ad was made by people who never picked up a video game to begin with. And I would almost guarantee that that activist group for women probably just play mobile games, don't even actually play video games, and if they do, it's only because they're probably paid to at this point. It says, from there, an ice-armed beast emerges from the rubble, only to be met by a female warrior named Cynthia, whose design seemingly draws heavy inspiration from the titular protagonist of Battle Angel Alita, and is named after a real-world player featured in Dove's campaign, who quickly proceeds to bring him down with an energy blast from her sword. As she lands in victory pose, a bell ring suddenly rings out, and the digital landscape the two opponents were once occupied in dematerializes to reveal that they were nothing more than actors playing the roles of their respective characters. See, that's the problem. That just doesn't happen. Like, you don't have real people playing in video games and having yourself in the game. The only people who have that option are actors who are acting for like motion cap in a video game. Then like Norman Reedus, for example, in Death Stranding. That's a good example of that. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're not going to see yourself in a game. Cynthia then returns home to what seems to be a combination dressing room / apartment, only to become slightly dismayed after catching her fully suited up shapely figure in a mirror. Attempting to own her look with a heroic pose, she soon gives up her facade and proceeds to both free her larger frame from the restrictive confines of her armor, as well as wipe some makeup from her face. Now relaxed and comfortable, her break is soon interrupted by the return to set bell. However, before returning to her job, she takes a long look at her reflection in the mirror. Coming to terms with her own appearance, the heroine then proceeds to gear up and return to set, this time sans her defensive gear. Then you get the titular line where it says 74% of girls feel underrepresented in video games. The ad then reads, citing a 2022 study conducted by Dove, the aforementioned Women in Games, and the Center for Appearance Research. What? Center for Appearance oh my god. These are fake jobs, which is apparently based on a simple survey and whose methodology has not been publicly released. Shocker. We partner with Unreal Engine and Women in Games to change this. They'll never show you and never tell you how they got to the numbers that they got to. They're only going to say that they put out a survey and women answered it. That's it. That's how you know it's not true. That's how you know there's ill intentions with it. It says, showing off the result of this partnership, the ad then replays its previous battle scene, only this time with Cynthia's original model replaced with her more representative one, aka the fat one. As Cynthia crosses her arms for one final victory pose, the ad concludes, let's make virtual beauty real. Let's not. How about let's not? How about let's keep virtual actually virtual? Let's keep fake actually fake. You don't have to see yourself in a fictional story. This whole mindset is tearing down entertainment everywhere. And the fact that Dove, a fucking soap company, is trying to get involved in gaming and push a message in gaming, why? Why would you partner with Dove to try to push this message? You would better off be partnered with Anita Sarkeesian than Dove. And that even that wouldn't make sense. But again, at least people would be like, okay, there's that. You know what I mean? Like, this is the most stupid thing I have ever seen. It says, in a promoting provided to the drum in promotion of the campaign, Dove Global VP Leandro Barreto asserted Dove believes that beauty should be a source of confidence, not anxiety, in every aspect of life, both real and virtual. What? Like, bro, stop it. These people don't play games. They don't play video games. You cannot tell me they play video games. I refuse to believe Leandro Barreto plays video games to the point where he needs to talk about what should or should not be in gaming. It says, although the games industry has made significant strides to become more inclusive, unfortunately, progress needs to be accelerated to challenge the narrow definitions of beauty still visible in the virtual world, she added. Together, with our partners, we hope to make a real impact on the millions of women and girls who spend their free time playing games. You're not going to, because a lot of the women are fighting back against it too, in case you don't realize. A lot of the women are saying that they enjoy looking at beautiful women on screen and they don't want to play characters that look like themselves. Again, the whole point of gaming is to escape from reality. If you're trying to find games that you can see yourself in, you're not escaping from reality. You might as well just watch a TV show, and even that is supposed to escape from reality. But again, they have this whole mindset, this whole notion that they have to see themselves in order to be able to enjoy a game or play a game in general, or they need to be represented in order to be able to play a game, enjoy a game. That is inherently against gaming. That's inherently against entertainment. That's inherently against fictional storytelling. It's against everything, and that's why this does not work. This will never work, no matter how hard you try to make spaces more inclusive and representative. You're never going to get the results you're looking for, because it goes inherently against the whole reason why that particular medium exists. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.